I hope we have some gratuitous sex and violence, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Millionth Show. My name is James, joined once again by Henry and Tom. And today we are discussing the infamous knockoff, spin-off, whatever you want to call it, unofficial Bond film, Never Say Never Again. This isn't like we say, this isn't like even if a canon Bond universe technically exists or not, this isn't part of it. So this is kind of our little spin-off three-part series with Casino Royale, Never Say Never Again, and The Rock, which I'm massively looking forward to.
James
But anyway,
you'd have to if you were prepared to put up with Casino Royale and Never Say Never Again for the
thing
sake
is
of
though, like, because we've got 28 films that we're reviewing, which is insane. What I like about it is the fact that even though all three of us are so well versed in the Bond universe, there's actually at least one film that all of us have never seen throughout this sort of journey, right? I'd never seen Casino Royale. You guys have never seen The Rock. And I think that's it.
And we have unfortunately all seen Never Say Never Again.
Never actually seen a Casino Royale.
Oh, wait, I thought you had seen it once.
No, I'm joking, like, as if there's an actual Bond film we haven't seen.
Well, you haven't seen The Rock. That's the thing, you two haven't seen The Rock. So
yeah, the thing is, I'm looking forward to The Rock. So
The Rock is sick, man. You're gonna like it. But anyway, maybe you'll even be in the country when we're reviewing it. That would be cool if we could watch together. But anyway, today we're talking about Never Say Never Again. Now, my first impression was actually it was better than I remembered. I didn't think it was that bad, actually. What do you two think?
I have to say, it wasn't as bad as I remember, but it was still really bad. Like, I think, I don't know if it was the fact that Sean Connery was again paid quite a lot for this. That's the budget suffered.
Do either of you two know how much he was paid? He must have been paid a bomb for this film. Man.
I know how much he was paid. It was like $3 million or something.
I knew it'd be something. You could so tell he was just picking up a paycheck, man. It was so
obvious.
Not
really. Like, for me, I don't think he was actually seemed to really enjoy, like, I don't know what kind of, if he was really just enjoying the role or whatever one last time, or he was enjoying it in like a malicious spite for the official James Bond way. I'm really screwing them over. But this film has like I really like hated it to begin with, but it actually improved somewhat in my opinion of it when I watched it. It was like it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like it was entertaining. Like most.
It's weirdly entertaining. That I agree. It's like there are some parts when I was watching it. Honestly, there were a lot of parts which I just kind of scrubbed through a bit. Like I put it on 1.5 speed, or just jump 10 seconds. Like there's some really long bits in like the water and stuff which I just didn't care about, or like really long shots that slow down. There's probably like a 1.5 hour edit of this film, which would actually be quite decent. Actually, if you just chop out.
Is it just an extended scene of them like gaming?
Yeah, exactly. I think the other thing, we're not going to do like a very structured, obviously recording here, but I think the other thing this film suffers from is just really poor casting.
You can say that again, man.
Especially the villain. Now, I just want to pitch you to an idea, right? I hope you know who I'm talking about, but you both know Alan Rickman, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Vaguely.
He was in Die Hard, Tom. He's the villain in Die Hard, and he's him.
Yeah.
He's like the ultimate English villain. Like he's like Tom Hiddleston or Gary Oldman, that kind of English people always play the best villains. Alan Rickman is like the OG of that, and it's such a shame that A, he was never a Bond villain, and B, that he was the villain for this film, because like the actor for Largo in this film has these little mannerisms which are quite good and quite charming, but don't fit. Like he's not. You don't take him seriously.
Really.
He tries to like. I think it's interesting what he tries to do. He like tries to play it all like smiley and almost like friendly in a way, but like. Apparently
he's got nothing menacing about him. That's the problem. I can see what he's trying to do, but he's not threatening or scary at all. I think a villain has to be to some level,
I think he's like the only thing I could really describe him as is like mischievous, like he's not like villainous at all, and
Yeah.
he almost comes off as like nice in the film as well. It's like, oh yeah, so we're
Yeah.
playing this game to like donate to this charity, and it helped. And then when Bond's asking, like
Fuck charity.
when Bond's asking, like, oh, yeah, which charity, who's it helping? Like, think he's gonna like get some really
Yeah.
awkward answer. He's like, oh, homeless children or something like that.
Yeah, literally, exactly. It's
And
like,
there's
yeah,
like,
starving
Yeah,
orphans
then
and stuff.
Bob's like,
Man.
am I actually, am I in the wrong here? You know, like,
yeah,
This is
and
the
one
other thing,
character,
right?
yeah.
I mean, Sean Connery, like, I don't know, man.
you talk about his age, perhaps.
Yeah, man. He just look. I mean, I know Roger Moore is older than him, like, let alone in Bond films, but like Sean Connery looks. You know what's weird about this film? His hairpiece makes him look even older than
Yeah.
his hairpiece is so bad. Um, it's too like the brow is too low, right? It's like because his hairpiece in the earlier Bond films are really good, like and that's how you remember him. In this, they like really botched it. It's like a
Yeah,
centimeter
for
too
that,
low.
yeah, for that money, as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He just doesn't. It makes him look older. There's one particular scene which makes me. It's one of the most cringe-worthy scenes I've ever seen on a film screen, and that's when you have the. It's in I don't know where it is, man, but there's like a bunch of like beautiful like bikini women, man, in like some beautiful spa sauna kind of environment, and then he walks in wearing like this grey turtleneck almost like Doctor No like
Oh
cloth or
yeah.
whatever, and then some white trousers, and he just looks. I've never seen someone look more out of place in an environment than that. Like seriously,
I
you know what I'm
actually,
talking about, right?
yeah,
Well,
I do
yeah, I
know.
mean, go on, Tom.
I want to say as well, like, I don't know why, but quite a bit of the humor in this film I actually find
Yeah,
funny as
Yeah,
well.
the
Like,
humor's not
it's
yeah,
just
bad.
yeah.
like
This
it's
that was
so
the
like
best part of this, I think.
it's
Like,
so like silly but like funny at the same time. Like and there's some good lines in it as well. Like when Fatima Blush, who I think is actually really good in this film, at least for the character.
Sorry, who is Blush?
Fatima Blush.
Blush, yeah, when she,
Apart
I
from yeah,
think,
but what about her death, man?
Yeah, literally, man.
the,
Oh, that is
Just
the
like
worst
makes
thing I've ever
gruesome
seen,
shit,
man.
man.
yeah, I know.
Worst thing I've
But
ever seen.
apart from that, like when she like runs into Bond and is like, "Oh, I've made you all wet," and he's like, "Oh yes, but my martini's still dry," which was quite funny.
Oh, that's true.
And
Oh, some of the one-liners are fantastic. Like,
Yeah, I love
when as well
that.
when he goes, when she's like, "Oh, can you give me a urine sample?" And he's like, "What, from here?" It's
yeah,
I think the best one in like throughout the film, or at least best one I can remember,
go.
must be the one where like they like blow up his like hotel room, which I actually didn't see coming. Like, but then
Mhm.
he was in the other room with her. It's like, oh, looks like I made the right choice in yours and mine.
I don't know.
yeah.
I thought that was a bit too on the nose for me.
Yeah.
I think I think this film's like very kind of chill James Bond film.
Yeah,
Really, like
because
it's
the thing
very
is,
laid back and
yeah,
it's
we're gonna rank these films, and I don't think this actually goes above like. I'm even
a
debating if
couple
this
of
is better than the
films.
original Thunderball or not. Do you know what I mean? I kind of get that vibe where I'm like, this isn't that bad actually. Um,
I don't know. Look at it this way, like, which one would you rewatch first?
I would watch this actually. This is more entertaining. I actually get more fun out of this film than I do like Thunderball. Thunderball's like quite hard to watch. It's quite boring.
I don't know, man. These are both quite hard to watch. I mean, when you're literally scrubbing through the film, it's not very like
For
Yeah,
me,
but I
telling
don't
of
feel
how good.
guilty about. That's the difference. I don't feel guilty about doing that with this film. I feel like yeah, I can skip a few bits. Doesn't matter. Thunderball, I feel like I have an obligation to watch it properly, and that's kind of maybe that's my own fault, but still like
Well, anyway, I
obviously
mean,
we got to talk about Rowan Atkinson.
yeah, literally. Just
Now
an
this is
idiot.
this was released in '83, so I think this would have been quite near the beginning of his acting career when he was doing Blackadder, probably like the first couple of seasons of Blackadder, which is really interesting. I've watched pretty much everything Rowan Atkinson's done. Like I don't know, not everything, but I've watched quite a lot compared to the Everyday Man,
Well,
and it's so like amusing seeing him in this film. I don't know, he's just perfect in a way, isn't he?
yeah.
yeah,
Well, this just lends more credit to the what's it called Johnny English shared universe. When Like when M
Oh.
in Doctor Knows, said they're working with MI7.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Mm.
But yeah,
One
he
thing,
brings. It's just funny to see him there. It's just random, so random thing.
Yeah.
Like Rowan Atkinson was in a Bond film, like technically speaking. It's like.
yeah,
Another thing I wanted to talk about is how good the music is. Like
Are you joking?
the song, yeah, the Never Say Never
I
Again.
it does.
hate
It is a bit
I love it.
catchy.
it.
It's so 80s, man.
But
It's the most
the
80s
opening
song
was
I've ever
so.
heard.
I know it's the fact that it was used in the opening. It's just shit. Like
No, I absolutely love it. I
It
mean,
I don't
has
like
I
the
don't
like
care
opening
for
of
the
this
opening that
film.
much, although it is quite a cool fake out, which always gets me.
Nah.
But
yeah, it actually did get me as well when I first watched it. I really like the song for me is like a guilty pleasure almost because I know it's like
yeah.
I know
I,
like supposed to not like it almost, but it's like oh well,
you
I
know
think
it's
what? You know
actually
what?
not that bad.
I've never
I think it's
woken up
better
and
than
thought.
all of these sort of like
The
Spy Love
slow
Me,
ones, yeah.
Octopussy, all those kind of songs that we've just had. This is probably better than all of them. I
Maybe
get more out of this one.
maybe this is too early for you to like. You've only just woken up. You haven't like engaged your brain.
Nah, you're joking, man.
Well,
I
we
don't know,
are
but
an hour ahead of you,
I have
so
like quite a soft spot for like 80s just stuff. So maybe there is a bit of that. But I quite like this song. And actually, I hadn't heard it for a very long time, but I do remember like maybe I don't know a couple of years ago I went on my own accord to listen to it again on YouTube or something. I was like, yeah, this is bad. This is a bit of a jam.
I have never in my life thought, I'm gonna listen to a Bond theme. I'm gonna listen to the Never Say Never Again theme.
I think
Like,
the music.
Yeah,
I think the
I have.
music is like it's all right all round considering the tone of the film, and it's very like laid back. But the one thing where it really badly stands out in not a good way is like when he's chasing Fatima Blush and like that really motorbike chase, and it's like
yeah,
this really it's almost like festival music they're playing, and it's like oh
No, I
okay.
think the soundtrack is bad,
the
but
soundtrack
I
is
just think the
terrible.
song, the main theme song is okay. Actually, it's okay. I quite
It's
like it
okay. It's the
actually.
best you can give it.
Oh, yeah,
But with the
there's this
bike chase quickly, with the motorcycle
yeah.
chase, I'm like, okay, I want to get a motorcycle soon, and obviously you should wear a helmet. But surely they could have found a better helmet than the thing he wears, man. He looks like a penis, man, like wearing that thing. I just don't know why they decided to put that helmet on him, man.
I don't know.
Like,
Insurance
I know
reasons.
Bond's got to set an example to set, although this isn't really like an example
Does
setting Bond
Bond
film, is
really?
it?
Are you
But
saying
still,
Bond really is meant to set an example to people?
well, I think they're trying to do like something like semi-responsible in terms of okay, let's put a helmet on the guy, but they could have found a better helmet, man, or put some. Don't make him wear that helmet and a
Like
tuxedo at the
literally,
same time.
like the shit that like Timothy Dalton does in like later Bond films. Like, it's not really setting a good example. I don't know, man.
I think
Um,
yeah.
This isn't like in like the Batman like '66 film where he's just like, yeah, remember to
no,
have
but
a
still, like
driver's
obviously they
license.
sat there and went, okay, well, let's put a helmet on the guy because that's what you should do. But then, okay, so if you're going to go and follow through that, I'm just saying, don't use that helmet, and if you do, give him a better. Don't you can't wear that in a tuxedo at the same time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I guess you have a fair point there. I mean,
On the
Um
motorbike scene, actually, just a quick one. I did like the way he escapes from it by going into the truck and then reversing, and then
yeah,
as
that
the
is
ramp
pretty
is
cool.
going up, he like off it. That's
yeah,
really cool. That's like
that was good
really
to
out of
be
the box,
fair.
man.
But
I thought
man,
that was cool.
the thing that sucks is the fact that I mean the chase is over in like 30 seconds at first, and she's driving the most like the shittiest car you've ever seen,
Yeah.
man. It's it's like somehow they made a budget version of a Mini, like.
If you ask me, I want to ask you two this. I'll ask you two this, and then I'll give you my answer. What is the best scene for you from this film? Like the best bit?
Man,
I'm gonna
this is like
think about that.
scraping through like
Well,
rub
because I
like
think there's a
pig.
clear standout that is really good from this film that like would fit in any other Bond film. In fact, of its kind, it's probably the best so far that we've seen.
For me, there's
Not the
two act
weightlifting fight.
there's two actually that I like, and one
Hmm.
is in that clinic, and like where they're just kind of. I think that's much better than the Thunderball one, man. Like
This
Hmm.
where they're
dev's
just
still
like
shit.
doing really weird. I don't know. I can't even grasp the Thunderball
Hmm.
clinic, but like, and the one where like it's him, Domino, and the villain just like hanging out on his boat, and then like
Oh yeah.
doing. I think that's generally like all right. Like I like the kind of interactions and stuff they have. And one thing like that's a bit I don't know. It's a bit weird. Is the fact that Domino seems to like Largo a lot more than she does in Thunderball. Like, she's
Well, that's
like,
good because in Thunderball we were questioning if incest was going on or not.
Yeah.
At least they made that clear this time.
yeah. But
I
what do
can't
you
even
think?
actually think of two scenes. I can't even think of one, man. What were you
What's
thinking of,
What
James?
did you say, Henry?
I
What were
don't.
you
I don't have one. I actually can't think of one.
just
Well,
take one of mine?
I think Tom touched on it, but I think specifically the fight scene in the clinic was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fight.
I
Yeah, the
loved it.
fight itself was good. I think.
Yeah, it went on for ages, and it was like, and Bond gets his ass handed to him, man.
Yeah.
And but I think that fight is
I
because
think. Yeah.
so far fight scenes are pretty poorly choreographed in Bond films. But I think I would maybe even go so far as to say this is one of the better ones, actually, even like of any official one.
It's
This is a
very
pretty good
tense.
fight scene.
There's like no music in it or anything.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. And
Yeah.
even
I
the
mean,
way it ends
it
is
does
like
somehow.
quite
You know.
comedic, and it makes you think like, what was in that jar, like acid or something? And it's like, no, it's his urine sample. And you're like, what the fuck then?
Yeah,
But then
yeah,
he's
but that's enough to make the guy like knock backwards into like 50 shells and then like fall forward and die. Like.
that's grim though. Like
yeah,
when
but
he does that,
he
I know.
gets stabbed in, he gets
Oh
some
yeah, yeah, you're
shard
right.
in his
But like, I
back.
don't know if someone
You
like
see
threw
like
their
a whole
piss.
test tube going through like his like
Yeah, but
middle back, and it's like
Yeah,
wow.
it's grim in it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but if you throw your piss on someone, they're not gonna fall that far backwards to like pierce themselves, are
Well,
they?
maybe not you, Henry, with your golden showers, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, been building resistance, you know.
Yeah, urine retention. Um, I want to. We have to address. Okay, we've talked about probably the best scene in the film. Now the worst scene surely has to be domination, right?
Oh, fucking
Uh,
gaming, man.
yeah.
Now
Yeah.
the thing, my problem with this scene is like Sean Connery's the worst possible actor for this. I
Yeah.
think
He's never
you could
seen
actually pull
he's
this
never even
off.
seen an arcade machine probably before.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know who could pull this off though? I think Roger Moore. He sits down and he wins
Roger
that
Moore gaming,
first
man.
time, sends a one-liner and then continues about his mission. I think Roger Moore wins this first time, man. Domination, just
Yeah.
I
and then
think
like brushes it off like it's nothing, man.
It's
yeah.
quite funny how they like value
Yeah.
different countries as well. They're just like, yeah, Spain, you're worth
Yeah.
fuck all, you know, like
Yeah,
France, kind of. USA, yeah, you're worth like, you know, well over 10% of the world, you know.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I don't know,
It,
man.
it is, yeah. And there's like, oh, yeah, we're gonna choose some absolutely random countries and just pick like three which everyone knows about, and it's like, oh, okay.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly. It
great.
wasn't like,
Okay,
oh
so
yeah,
It's not
Zimbabwe or
like
something, right?
Burkina
let's go to
Faso or
Tanzania.
something.
Oh, worth £5, you know, like.
Oh no.
I don't know. A couple of, I mean, I quite like Felix in this film. Felix
Yeah,
Leiter.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was gonna
he's
say
I
that.
pretty good, to
forgot
be
that they
fair.
had a
He's much better.
black Felix Leiter actor before Jeffrey
Oh, yeah,
Wright,
for sure.
and he was quite refreshing to see. And you know what was very funny? I don't know if this is intentional or not. I think it was though. There's like when Bond and Felix escape from the police, they're hiding, and they they're like sort of Bond's riding a bicycle, and Felix is like he's doing some little boxing thing. I feel like that. I think it's accidental, but it
Like
just
a
looks like a
Rocky thing.
really shitty Rocky tribute
Yeah.
act, which I really enjoy for some reason. But I quite like Felix in this film. Again, probably one of the better Felixes we've had so far. So
Well, I mean, that's not very hard, but
we could even rank him
True,
actually. Why not?
actually.
maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
Just to
Uh,
push the other ones further down.
Yeah.
I think wasn't it him who like threw a bomb at the airport as well, just to test the like reaction skills, which is quite funny.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Where
Yeah,
they're just
he's got so
Yeah,
much
literally
charisma and
sort of thing,
banter.
but
You
yeah,
know, like
think fast.
this was Jeffrey Wright before Jeffrey Wright, man.
And just because
yeah.
he's black.
Well, no,
No, he's got
but
more energy to
he's
his
got
point.
like an actual personality.
Yeah, that's
None of the
something.
other Felix fighters really. I never see their personality shine through, man. Like this guy really puts a lot of it. He's the most charismatic Felix, apart from Jeffrey Wright. But Jeffrey Wright just has more films, so you're able to see. Anyway,
Yeah.
what else is there to talk about here, man? What about the like undertones of like Islamophobia in this film, man? Like, did you guys get that, or am I reading into it too
I
much?
think I
I
don't know,
wasn't paying
like
attention too much, so.
it
I feel
was
like they were
well,
very disrespectful to Muslims in this film. Like
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
for
When
its
they're like
time.
auctioning Kim Bassinger, man. They're just
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
fuck.
They're auctioning her, and then they completely like destroy this. Like I don't know if it's a real location or not, but I assume it is because it's Bond, which probably isn't a good way of thinking. But anyway, they just destroy this, like, and they like the guy Largo, he like mocks this, like the tears of Ali. He's like spitting it, and like, he might as well open his fly and urinate in the pool, man. It's like, and then they go and just blow it all up. So I felt like that was pretty disrespectful. But yeah, when they're auctioning Kim Basinger as well, which I should add, this is not the first time we've reviewed a film which has Kim Basinger in it, is it, Henry? You recognised her, right?
Yeah, of course, Batman ain't.
So yeah, I think this is her feature debut as well, debut film. I think. Yeah, I think it was this film.
Debut.
I like the
Yeah,
one,
but she went on to have a very good career after
Yeah,
this.
we know
very
that, but
respectable.
like
I
I'm
like
just talking about the
Basinger.
start, you know.
I think a thing that like this film does a bit better than Thunderball is like it doesn't like focus on the plot as much. Like they just like chill a bit more in the actual location, and like I don't know, the characters interact a bit more in a setting that's like not specifically always related to the plot, and yeah.
Yeah, because they know the plot's shit. That's why.
Yeah, well, it's the same as Thunderball in essence. It's
I
just
know, but
like,
it's just not. I mean, on paper it's quite interesting, but like going about it, like because the plot necessitates going underwater for long periods of time, it's just like I can't really make it.
I don't mind. I don't mind the underwater bit. Like,
Yeah, of
they
course
like.
you.
Oh no, I skipped that entire bit, man. I couldn't give a fuck to watch that, man. That was awful. Both of them. There's the first bit where Bond gets trapped with the shark, or whatever. I don't even really fully know what happens because I just like skip through it, and then there's the bit at the end, which is just the worst thing I've ever seen. Apart from
Yeah, literally, that was such a bad climactic.
the
fight.
worst stunt I think I've ever seen in a film, which is when they jump the horse jump off the castle.
Oh yeah.
Because
I can't believe they actually like included that in the film. Like that was so bad. I think with my limited resources, I could make a better like looking stunt than that, man. That was shocking.
The worst bit about that was like, sorry, but like when they jumped over it and then it like did a like really bad acted close up of Sean Connery and the domino
That was the
going
worst
over.
bit. Yeah,
And they're like,
I don't know what was worse. That how obvious the dummies were. I don't know. Like I couldn't believe what I was watching. You know.
Like they must have had. I think that I don't know if this film actually got done for it, but this film has like got a lot of animal abuse in it. The fact that they led a horse, like, because a horse isn't gonna jump like over like a massive, like castle into the ocean. They must have tricked it or something.
Oh, they did actually. I remember reading about this in that.
It's not
really,
real horses, is it?
that,
they don't tell me they throw a real horse over.
They
that.
did.
Yeah,
they
That's
did.
why they had to
And then
censor it.
they had to cut where they had like the horse swimming to show that it was like okay.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering because obviously I'm vegan, right? So I'm extra invested in this, and that's the first thing I noticed. Is like, did they seriously? I didn't know they actually. They threw a horse from that height into the water.
Yeah,
I don't think it was that height
It can't have been that height, but
because they don't.
I was
see
glad
the
at least to see it was still
falling.
swimming, and like I hope that's the same horse. Like I don't know, that was like shocking, man. I couldn't believe that.
Also, Tom,
On top of being such a bad stunt.
They must have like those had to have been real sharks as well. They were just like like
Yeah, they did.
Shit.
They didn't mutilate them, but like one kind of got stuck in a room which Bond like locked, and there are a lot more others. And this is not as bad as Thunderball.
The OG Thunderball, where they shot.
Where they're like shot and you see the harpoon going right through the thing and then it just bleeds into the water. And it's like,
it's okay, guys.
This is not going to age well. And yeah, so I was a bit more relieved.
It never crossed my mind that they did that. They actually did that in Thunderball. I'm just deeping that now as you're saying it. I'm like, that's fucked up, man.
Yeah, it is, and it's just like
because I know about lots of horses died in the Lord of the Rings and stuff, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's bad, but it's kind of
accurate.
It's kind of understandable. It's not like they intentionally killed them like on screen,
Yeah,
it's
a
like
lot of people
sort of happened. But like that was like, oh yeah, well, let's just kill this shark. It'll look cool, Like
they make a thing of it as well. Like when he's going down to investigate the totally real jet that sunk there, and and then the shark comes up. He's like, oh yeah, shoot him, and the other ones will eat him. And it's like,
yeah, exactly. Fucking.
It's a bit but like. It's an underwater creature, guys. So it's not a cat or a dog, so we won't care.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's a shark, so
What else do we have? Yeah. Well, yeah, Largo being a massive cuck, I think that didn't help
Yeah,
the
that
guy's
is.
case either. I mean,
You can never
that was.
like
I've
some
never
women
seen
get
someone get cut so hard in my life, apart from maybe Zhao Felix or someone like that.
like
Or Will Smith.
yeah.
But
I don't think
yeah,
anyone's been cut that hard, but still like
who? What?
Will Smith.
Who got cucked harder, Largo or Will Smith? What do you think, Tom?
Well,
What?
Largo's
What?
girlfriend didn't like talk about it on like national TV with him, did he? With him there.
I don't know. Largo gets cut really hard, man. At least, like, well, as far as we know, Will Smith didn't walk in and like, or whatever. Like, he didn't, like, I don't know. It's bad though.
Man, I
Oh,
don't know.
it
I
is
don't know. I
bad.
didn't really like. I don't know how you two feel about Largo because I know you say like, oh yeah, he's kind of got this like weird, like charming aesthetic or whatever. Then he like randomly has like at one point in it, is it like he takes out an axe or something? And he's having like some sort of like I'm going
Oh
crazy.
yeah,
It's
Yeah,
like
he does.
like
And
he
like
thinks he's like in The Shining or
yeah,
something.
literally, yeah, exactly.
he like the thing is apparently this actor was very hard to work with on set, like because he had
Oh,
a
yeah.
very specific way he wanted to play Largo, and he like insisted on it against all the advice and stuff, and he was very very
Yeah,
difficult
well,
with that.
yeah, that isn't. We know how
I
that's
wish
normally
they'd
gone
cast
down.
someone better, like, or someone that or just make a costume change or something. Just give him an eye patch, or give him some scar or something. Just make him look like, this is a villain. I'm meant to like kind of
Hate
have
him.
something
Yeah.
against this guy. I have nothing against him. I'm just like, this is guy just, hustling, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's not really threatening anyone. He's not killing
Yeah,
anyone.
actually,
This guy's
have
actually
you,
quite all right, actually. He's probably nicer than most like billionaires in the world today, man. Do you know what I mean?
speaking of actually
He's like one of
villains in
those.
this,
Yeah, go on.
how do you feel about Bullofeld in this?
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I think we should rank the Blofelds just to see if he goes above or below Charles Grey.
I think
This guy looks like he could like be like Santa Claus, like, and then you just tell him like, oh yeah, I want 2 nuclear warheads for Christmas, like I don't
But
know.
is he a better Blofeld than Charles Grey? I think so.
Yeah, the
I
look.
think
He's
so
got the
as
look, I
well.
guess, but
Mind you, he
kind.
did. Charles
Not
Grey
really.
does have a memorable prepare my bathos sub immediately.
Yeah, but it's kind of
But
Yeah, but he's
memorable.
also
He's
in
memorable for
drag.
the wrong reasons, all the wrong reasons.
it's true. Like thing of going back to Largo quickly,
Yeah.
he's one of the he's like so he really is like just nice in the film. Like
Yeah.
you wouldn't be scared you'd almost like want to hang out on his really cool looking yacht with like all these
Yeah, I'd love to
facilities
play
and stuff.
Domination with him.
And
Yeah,
and
he's
like
not like. I mean, yeah, he's not like the pillar of society or anything, but he's still like, I mean, yeah, he lies here and there. He's like gives Kim Basinger like a worthless stone, and he's like, oh yeah, that
it's
was so expensive, But
he
like, come
come
on, man,
yeah
like,
Yeah.
we
it comes
like. I'm sure he's not the first person that's done something like that,
it
Like,
comes across as if like the worst thing
Speak
he's
for
ever
yourself.
done is like cheat on a test or something, and it's like
yeah,
well,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Um, I need to see
mind
him
you,
like cut
speaking
someone's throat or something,
s-
just so I can go, okay, yeah, he's the
speaking
villain. I can't
Yeah,
accept that he's the villain.
Where's Vargas, man? They took out the best part.
Yeah.
speaking
Yeah,
of
at least have him
tests
mock
though,
someone like Vargas, like
Justice
make him look like
Justice
a
for
bit of a bully
Vargas.
or something, man. He's like he doesn't really he did nothing wrong, I
Just
don't know.
remembering Vargas, man. So funny.
Vargas is dead. But thinking about tests, speaking of tests though, do you want to do license to quiz right now,
We'll,
or
we'll do license to quiz right at the end. I think that's what we
all
did
right?
with Casino
Yeah,
Royale.
I've got nothing else to say about this film.
I do have a couple more things I just want to go over. First of all, I want to point out how bad those jetpacks were. How have you got
Oh
20
yeah,
years further in technology and come out with a worse jetpack?
Yeah, that is a good point.
What?
yeah.
You already had it. You literally have an actual jetpack in the film that you're you're remaking, and
And you
you went and
somehow
made
made one.
a worse
Yeah,
one. 20 years. You have
yeah,
the
because
benefit of 20 years of development, and this is what you came up with.
they both. It makes no
It
sense
should
though,
be
because
the other way around.
they jetpack to a little island and then swim to the next side. Just fucking jetpack all the way, or do
Ah,
you like not have
that
like
was
fuel for?
embarrassing to watch, man.
Uh,
Um, Also embarrassing to watch was Bond in shorts. I mean, you don't put a man of that age in shorts, let alone Sean Connery, let alone in like the most supposedly climatic part of the film.
hmm.
Um, They made all the wrong costume. Like, because earlier like I said, he walks into that because Sean Connery. I mean, yeah, okay, he looks like very old, but he was still in good shape for his age. We can say that he's pretty trim. Um, and it's not like like I was talking about that scene earlier when he walks into the room with all those women. I think that would have been easier to watch if he was wearing shorts then. At least, like, it's like they were actually like actively trying to embarrass him with that costume decision. Like, or I just didn't want him in this film, or like this film was made too late, or I don't know. There's like a really good blend, like I say, of the original Thunderball and this Thunderball, where you can get like quite a good film out of it. But anyway,
I
a man
watched.
that age in those shorts in that scene, didn't want to see that. Um, Let me see. I wanted to ask you two why he said. Someone asks, "Oh yeah, Largo offers him a cigarette, and he
Hmm.
says not today." Was there anything more to that? Because that's quite interesting. I thought.
Because he's supposed to be on like his health thing, isn't it? So like,
Oh yeah,
Ah,
you're
so
right.
that's why he's
is that
declined.
it?
Yeah, that's really simple to be.
Okay, I
Like
don't know because like
he
Bond, it
declines
was
like
coming to a
alpha.
time where Bond stopped smoking, like in general.
No,
So
because in the beginning they're like, oh, they literally make a point, oh, you're eating too much of this, blah
yeah,
blah
that's
blah, and
right.
it's
Too
like you're
much
gonna have
red meat, Bond.
it's quite funny, like though there's a funny joke which is much like in much better taste than like
Yeah.
Thunderball's equivalent, where he's trying to like charm the nurse who's looking after him into like I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
letting
Oh
him off
yeah,
the hook.
man. Like, it's
And
just like basically
instead of like
blackmail and
instead of
pretty
like blackmailing her into you know what like
Yeah.
he doesn't do that, he like pulls out
efficient
the he
approach.
pulls
Oh
out like
yeah.
his hamper of like vodka and
Suitcase.
like
Oh,
and
that
then
was
Yeah.
brilliant,
it's
wasn't it?
funny and he's just like describes like oh a beluga caviar blah 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 and then like
Yeah.
he like makes her eat it and it's just really awkward but funny at the same time.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. That was much better taste than what they did in Thunderball.
I mean,
I actually,
the
I'm,
bar is extremely low and it's borderline rape, but still,
uh, no, there is someone. Yeah, no, that's what he does on Kim Basinger. He basically sexually assaults her character, man, in the film when he's massaging her, and
Yeah,
he doesn't even. That
it
is like in today's world, he would face like a jury for that, man. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean,
I'm not
Sean
being
Connery
funny.
was
That
famous
is
for a lot
literally
of things in
sexual
his
assault what
films.
he's done there, man. Like, I don't know what's wrong with Sean Connery. And this is the thing, like, it's not even just him in Bond films. This is actually who he is. Like, there's an infamous film. The name escapes me now, but I think it was made in about '97, and Sean Connery was in his 60s by this point, and he stars opposite Catherine Zeta-Jones, who was like, I don't know, like at most in her 20s, and they have like a scene together and stuff, and it's and like romance, and it's just like this guy like has. I mean, I don't know. He's like, it's like the Hugh Hefner argument or Trump. It's kind of like, well, yeah, okay, you're like an old man enjoying his life, whatever, but it is a bit disgusting, man. Like, at what point do you kind of go like, you know, enough's enough? Do you know what I mean? I get that with Sean Connery as well.
Mm, I don't know. I don't know anything about that film or whatever. I think when in like Thunderball, the thing that really aged badly that might not have like been questioned so much at the time
All
is
the
with that.
PowerPoint
It's
slide
because
transitions.
it's because the whole like selling point, I suppose, originally of James Bond was like the character was supposed to be like, oh, he's so like incredibly charming. He's like all this
Mhm.
and all that, and like so people are. I think people back then were supposed to be caught up with like him supposedly being able to get away with things like that because he's so all this
Mm,
and that, and then like, and today it just doesn't hold up at all because the
yeah,
whole it aged like I don't know wipes
that's
like.
a really interesting point you've brought up there. I do want to go into that conversation very briefly about how, for me, I mean, for everyone has their own. Bond is a pretty universal kind of character, right? That everyone can sort of, recognize and identify who and what he is. For me, I think the most important thing, if like I'm James Bond or whatever, like my thing would be, I think the most important thing for Bond to be, first and foremost, above everything else, is a gentleman. And I think maybe this is one of
Sure.
the reasons why Roger Moore's my favorite Bond, because I think he is the most charming, sort of disarming. And the other Bonds kind of, I mean, Sean Connery does have that to an extent. So does Daniel Craig. They can be quite disarming, with their lines and stuff. But
I
I think
think
Roger Moore's the biggest gentleman of any Bond. I
the
mean, you
most-
might
the
feel
most
free to
important
disagree, but
thing-
that's what I think.
I think the most important thing when it comes to being Bond, you have to be kind of like underneath the surface. You have to be like ruthless because, I mean, even Roger Moore said like the thing that kind of that makes James Bond what he is like. He could be, he would like to play, cards at a table of gangsters, but at the same time, he would, happily kill all of them, if need be.
Yeah, there's a lot of complexity to the character actually, but I think Roger Moore is like there's so many. It's great for me because there's the part of me that wants almost with with Roger Moore, he's like almost like a saint, like he's like Salvation
He's
Army
the
kind
saint.
of James Bond. Yeah, exactly. So and then there's the other kind of
Salvation Army Bond.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he is like that in a way. And then
He's someone you can hold up to the public and go, yeah, you can believe in this guy, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think
I know what you mean.
I think that's also why it was more. It sounds like it was more popular to take children to the cinema when it was his.
Yeah.
films, but
Yeah. That's a funny point you make now because after Roger Moore films, they all start going up to being 12 and 15 rated, isn't it? Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, he's the last family-friendly Bond, really, wasn't he?
He was really the only family,
The only,
if you think about it.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Because
I think Sean Connery to an extent, but
Yeah, you could take your kids
you have
see
to explain
Goldfinger.
things to kids a little bit so they don't think some of that's normal,
I think Sean Connery balances it very well, but
Hey.
almost all the time anyway. So
Also, with this film, I don't think it happened, but do we need to update the Sean Connery slap counter? Because I think he slapped like 6 women so far.
did he slap anyone in this film?
I don't know. James, did he?
No,
slap?
I don't think
he did.
I don't think he did.
Yeah.
Um,
They wouldn't let him.
this
just
is
give
a
me 1
Diamonds
sec.
Are
I
Forever.
want to talk about as well about M. How haven't we discussed M yet?
M.
Like this guy, man.
He's a bit forgettable.
I mean,
But-
the conversation he has with Bond is quite funny. But
Yeah,
that's
he's not even bad in like a weird way. He's kind of like a breath of fresh air in a weird way.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, but that's just because we've only really had 2 M's, and they are both kind of fill like a very kind of basic role.
I like how
they're doing well, but still.
I like how down to earth the Q is as well. Like he just he's like talking about the
Q is
economy
very
and,
open. That's the thing.
all the
All the characters.
orders,
I think. Sorry to interrupt, Tom, but I have a feeling like with M and Q, I think they're directly mouthpieces of Kevin McElroy. That's how I feel. I think he's getting all of his grievances about Bond. I think he's getting all of his beef, and he's sending all of his messages specifically through M and Q in this film.
Kevin McClure can rest in piss, so fuck him,
Yeah, I was waiting for you to. Well, why haven't we mentioned his name yet? He's like the K word, man. It's like the name shall not be spoken, like some Voldemort shit, man.
Yeah, exactly, man. He's just.
Can you imagine though, like in the summer of 1983, you get like this, you get 2 Bonds, like.
Well,
this,
no, these released one released in in the winter era, and then this released in summer. They're like Battle of the Bonds.
No, I think I thought they released within a couple of months of each other, right?
They
were released in the same year, but they were quite far apart.
They were far, but they get like roughly.
They get 2 Bonds in the same year. You get this, and you get
that is really cool. We'll never get that again. That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Get like one Bond film a decade at this rate.
Obviously, Tom, you've got License to Quiz today. So I don't know what the box office for this film was or the worldwide gross, but I'm really interested to see how that stacks up against Octopussy.
I mean, Diamonds Are Forever did
How did Octopussy do? I can't remember.
I know on
it was about 90 million or something, wasn't it?
I don't know. You should know this.
I know.
I should. Let me check.
No. Well, according to Wikipedia, it's like $183 million. So,
oh, that's good. That's good. I hope it did better than this. But I don't.
The budget was like.
The only reason I want this film. No. Well, according to IMDb, Octopussy did 67 million worldwide. So, but I wouldn't hold it against this film if it did well, except for the fact that obviously Kevin McElroy, he was a producer, or certainly he was
producer on Thunderball.
He was executive producer for this.
Well,
And
it must have been. It was his film.
yeah, but what can you just tell me for context, what was the extent of his involvement with this film then compared to whatever happened in Thunderball? Like I'm still a little bit behind on the Kevin McElroy
Well,
saga. So
in
Well, I mean, he owned
Thunderball,
the rights because of the lawsuit, and he was just like, I want to do this in my vision. I'm gonna make Thunderball, but good. So,
okay. I think
and
he had
in a weird way, I think he succeeded to a certain extent.
no, man, there's so much, like bad skippable stuff in this
I
film.
think like
This is a film I never want to see again.
the
You know?
Really?
I don't
Yeah,
think it's that bad.
I
Like
don't
I
think
would
it's that bad. I actually think it's
it's
better than
bad
Thunder.
enough to where you're skipping through it and watching it at like
Yeah,
faster
but I already
speeds.
explained that. I don't feel guilty about doing that with this film.
But it's
uh
like, if
But
you do
not
that
because
with
I don't
any
like it,
film,
because like I just want to get to the bits that I do enjoy. There's more I enjoy from this film than in Thunderball. That's for sure.
hmm.
Do you not
okay.
feel the same way?
It depends really what you're in it for. I think if you're in it for like more of a chill
Mm.
experience, then you're
Yeah,
this film. But if you're in it more for like you're interested in plot or whatever and
yeah.
Bond
Maybe
villain
that's the
whatever,
difference.
No,
that's
you're
yeah.
right, Tom. It goes back to that like old age argument like that
Old
I've
age.
created, which is like entertaining Bond versus serious Bond. You know,
Yeah,
like it
exactly.
depends. What and Henry's obviously more of a serious Bond guy. I'm like I'm all here for the entertainment, man. That is for me like I mean, Ridley Scott said it once. He said, films at the and he's made some phenomenal films in his time, and some that aren't so good. But he said at first because a lot of people, I mean, especially me, like read into. I'm not going to say the B word today, but like,
Yeah.
you know, um, a lot of people read into his films, and especially some of his films, like read into it a lot.
Yeah.
And he usually it's funny with him, even though he could fully take credit for that and wallow in it, not wallow in it, but bask in that as much as
Yeah.
he's entitled to. He never does. He just goes, well, because he's a northerner, he's a Yorkshireman, I believe, and he just goes, well, films are just entertainment at the end of the day,
Mhm.
and that's the most important thing. His like goal with every film is just to entertain the audience first and foremost, whether that's visually or through the story or whatever's happening. But for me, that's the most important thing, and that's why I quite enjoy Never Say Never Again, and probably more so than Thunderball.
I think I'm a
These are
bit
two pretty bottom tier films we're talking about. So.
Oh yeah, true.
I'm a bit on the fence with like
Yeah.
seriousness and like entertainment. Of course, my favorite Bond is all about entertainment, Octopussy.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I
But then you
do,
prefer Sean Connery to Roger Moore. You're a
yeah.
really good balance between me and Henry actually for this.
Yeah.
Well, and actually, the second favorite for me is On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which is very
Mm.
serious. Like the thing, the thing is, I think seriousness is difficult to do very, very well because some of the films that are serious, not just in the Bond thing,
No,
the
I think in
Bond
Bond in
franchise,
particular,
they're
it's
like
very difficult to do.
they're
It's
ve-
much easier to make an entertaining Bond film than a serious one.
they're
Yeah.
like
Far easier.
they're like some of the films, if they don't work with being serious, feel like they're lecturing you almost, and a lot of like films are like,
Mm.
I don't like that when it does that, and I think they do a little bit of that later on. But we'll talk about that later.
Oh, big time, big time. I think they really, well, particularly in Daniel Craig, they're just trying to
Yeah.
like re-educate everyone, which I don't know, it works to a certain extent. I mean, I appreciate because I mean, I appreciate the serious Bond films a lot, but I think Bond, it's a weird one for me because I want to be when I go and see a Bond film, I'm there for like the experience before I am for like some kind of message or something. Do you know what I mean? That's
Exactly.
I mean,
It's
I've never gone to a
entertainment at
Bond
the end of
film
the day.
thinking, I really want to see what message they've got for me today. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't want Bonds preached to me, man. Like, you're not there for that.
Mm,
You're
yeah,
like Tom
Bond
said.
is not exactly
Tom,
someone who should be
I
preaching
can't
to
stop thinking about what Tom said. I can't remember what film it was for.
your eyes only.
He said Bond is basically like adult male fantasy, and that is the most spot-on summary of Bond I've ever heard.
He
And
literally, I
that is
mean,
why it's about entertainment for me. But we're getting really philosophical on this one.
wow.
Couple more things just before we move on to the quiz. Uh, Actually, one more thing is the ending. We have to discuss the ending, right?
Do you
Like,
know
it's really
actually?
funny, but like so
It's
ridiculous.
somehow worse than that. Like the Thunderball one, at least like it had a kind of a cool moment where Domino shoots Largo. Like Bond really is fucked. But then like you have like the really bad sped up footage and green screen through the fucking, window of like the rocks coming past and shit. And then they all just jump off. He like throws and the only funny thing is when he throws off the sign says man, it's like, yeah, you know, fuck off,
Never too
nerd,
late
man.
to
I'm going to use
learn.
this dinghy. But then,
That wasn't what I was referring to. But actually,
The end where
we
he's like,
skipped over that because of how bad it was. Like actual Largo's death is just not even worth talking about, really.
because it happens
I
all
think it-
underwater. There's like no.
think-
And it
there's no
happened. Yeah, there's no
chaos.
dialogue at all. There's no sound. It's just
I
like,
think in
oh, you kind of guess. Yeah, okay, you know he's died, but it's like there's absolutely no.
I think it's in a weird way. It's kind of fitting for like the villain who's like
Yeah, it is.
who like dies in this really kind of insignificant, unnoticeable way. And it's
yeah.
like okay, it's like oh, this guy's gone. That's okay. And then and yeah, you don't even get to see his face when he dies
Yeah,
either. It's
literally.
like it could have been
There's
a
no
good.
last words or anything. I think,
Yeah,
but the ending I was referring to is with the fourth
Rowan
act with
Atkinson.
Rowan Atkinson.
Oh
Come
yeah,
on,
you're right.
that's good.
Yeah, come on, that's what I was talking about.
I did actually quite like that because I had forgotten about it. He just
It's
like
so funny because he sat there. He's like, "Oh, M is begging for you to return. He fears for the safety of the civilized world without you." Like, it's so over the top.
I know, but I think
It's
especially
funny.
the fact that they frame it like a regular one, where it's normally like a henchman coming
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
It's like it's like the camera angles, like someone sneaking in, like
Yeah.
and shit, and then he just like pulls this guy out, chucks him in. It's just Rowan Atkinson.
That's
Brilliant.
really well done.
That was
It's
good.
I
to see
really,
that. And that must be why you two are like okay with this, because it left you on like an okay note. Like
No, and
Not
the
really.
fact like the very final frame of like Sean Connery as
Connery's wink,
Bond,
yeah.
if you don't include The Rock,
Huh.
is him like with a woman half his age, winking at the camera, like never, like just like it's just
It's
it's so
incredibly, like,
ridiculous, but it's
cheeky.
so funny at the same time, man. It's
It's
like
so
yeah.
it's so good. It's not like good, but like it's so like
It's
cheeky
good
and
in a
like
bad
so
way.
cheesy. It's brilliant. And Rowan Atkinson as well. The fact that it's him as well there, like, yeah, M is begging for you to come back, like, and also I do want to shout out Rowan Atkinson, like, oh, let's go. We didn't mention it. Let's go snorkeling later.
Yeah.
It's like
oh,
Bond's
yeah.
just been on the most sexy, like, like water adventure of his life with Fatima Blush. He's just like the most erotic thing ever. And then like Rowan Atkinson calling to go snorkeling in like a paddle pool. Man. It's so funny.
Yeah,
Man.
literally.
Yeah. One thing overall about the film I'd like to say is like it had many like rough edges and like
Yeah.
The whole thing's
missteps,
a rough edge,
but
man.
like I think it was interesting for the sheer fact that it gave us almost like an insight, a very small
Yeah.
glimpse to an alternate universe where like
Yeah.
someone else had control and was deciding all these
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like
it wasn't,
Yeah,
extended.
you're right, Tommy. It kind of like breaks down a fourth wall in a way, doesn't it? In a lot of
Yeah.
ways, like it's almost like a meta sort of Bond film, isn't it?
yeah, and without going too far, like Casino Royale, just throwing everything out the window, and it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least it didn't go through like 6 directors for this film, so
Oh yeah.
give it that at least.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much everything. So
Hit us, Tom.
go on. Yeah.
all
Let's do
right.
it. And we'll do
So-
some rankings afterwards as well.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course.
So- According to Wikipedia this time, what was the
Okay.
budget of this film?
Good thing you for the
For reference though, Octopussy was 27 or 28 million. I forgot.
Okay, that's very generous of you to say, Tom. Thank
I
you.
like, I like, I like how for the like the knockoff Bond film, we've got the knockoff like source for box office figures here.
I'm
For
gonna
budget.
say I think this probably had quite healthy budget. I'm gonna say 20 million.
Nah, I think
I like guessing again. This is
I
fun.
think they
man.
might
I
have
wanna be
actually approached
Quizmaster
Roger
again.
Moore to do this as well. He said no because it was like
Did he?
poorly funded.
Really? Yeah, but Sean Connery got paid quite a lot, and I think
Yeah, no,
I don't
that's
know.
what I
I'm
mean.
gonna
It's like a
stay
diamonds
firm
are
with
forever
20
sort of
million. I
thing.
think this had a healthy budget.
What did you say? 25?
James
No,
said
20.
20 million.
I'd go even lower. I'd go like 18 maybe at most.
Well, is those your final answers?
Yeah.
Yep.
Are those your final? I should say. Well, you're both quite far off, but this film
Oh.
actually had a higher budget than Octopussy, and
Where did you
knew it.
go?
and James is closer by virtue of putting a slightly higher number. And it was $36 million.
That's
Did they
insane.
spend like 30 million on like making like domination look okay, and then like 3
Yeah,
million for
that's the
Sean
thing.
Connery.
Actually, I did want to mention that this film is so 80s, and actually, like, it's so painfully 80s in the sense it's just that it's a real. It's like, you know, it's like that really awkward moment in that decade where like analog meets digital, and this film is such
Yeah.
good evidence of that, of like, the film industry struggling to bridge that gap.
Yeah.
They're really trying to show off something which in isolation looks quite cool, but it just doesn't fit at all.
Yeah.
So
Well,
36
yeah,
million,
actually,
is that the
speaking of,
most of any Bond film so far, or did Moonraker probably have a bit more? Can't remember. That's
I'm not
insane.
sure,
I don't know,
but
And you,
it's very interesting. Yeah.
all right, I want to hear how
And
much you made
just
then.
in case someone points out at some point, I don't know if because I've only ever seen one person point this out before. There's like when the Bond's walking through like sort of like the arcade gaming section.
Yeah.
There's a guy who really looks like Timothy Dalton there, who people say, "Oh, is this a cameo?" And it's like, no, it wouldn't make sense because
having a little
and it's not him.
having a little fancy there, Henry. But
Yeah, you
we'll
are.
get
Yeah,
there.
It's not him, and it wouldn't make sense because he didn't even play Bond by this point. Like, because it's just people like.
That's mad.
Ah.
I think that must be because Moonraker had 34 million budget. I don't know how. I don't know about Wikipedia's number, but regardless, like this, it just doesn't surprise me that this is the highest budget Bond film so far. It's just like, yeah, okay. So how much did it make then?
The
That's the
box
next question.
office.
I mean, yeah. What are you gonna ask him
Guess
to tell
the
us?
box office, and for reference, Octopussy, according to Wikipedia, had made $187 million.
I don't know
So
where
I
these
think,
numbers are coming from because that's like almost 3 times as much as it says on IMDb.
I think
yeah, I
the
think it
thing
must be
is,
because they must adjust for inflation or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
makes
sure
sense.
about that.
I
For me,
always, I
it's
always,
yeah.
I mean, I always did it for the original and then adjusted for inflation, just in case both of you get it very close. So,
Uh, so
um,
so
this had a higher opening weekend, I think, but trail off a lot faster. I think I'd go with maybe
How do you
120
know that?
million.
Oh man, if it's adjusted for inflation,
Yeah, that fucks
I'm
everything.
going
Octopussy
to say it made
180,
probably 80 million at the time. Yeah, I think Sean Connery coming back would have been a big deal. So I think I'm going
Yeah,
to
he's
say
the only
80 million
thing
for the
helping.
day, and then times that by 360, whatever. That's what I'm going to say.
Those are your final answers: 160 million for James and 120 million for Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
James is spot on. It was
Oh!
160 million.
Wow.
I knew it, man. Okay,
So
2-0.
I think it's funny though. I like it because this film spent more but earned less than Octopussy, which
Yeah.
is quite funny.
I'm annoyed that
Good
Kevin
questions.
McIlroy probably made good money out of this. Then that's a bit frustrating, but oh well. At least he
Yeah.
never did it again. He was
Yeah.
probably satisfied after that. He probably went, "Yeah, my work here is done." You know?
Yeah, literally.
He proved a point. As much as we hate Kevin McIlroy, especially he did prove a point with this film. We have to say that.
What point was that?
I don't know,
There's
whatever it's like in
there's
his mind.
another way to do
Exactly.
things.
Yeah, exactly. It's
There's
like,
another way
yeah,
to do things, and it's still shit.
he got his way in the end in a weird, and he made money out of it. So he kind of,
Yeah, of course
in
it's
a
gonna
way,
be
he's
short,
justified.
but like Kevin McCloy, man, I'm gonna, I just go back with a time machine, and just kill him like after he finishes. Like,
You'd
wouldn't have had
kill
Spectre,
baby Kevin
wouldn't have had
McIlroy before
this.
you'd kill baby Hitler for sure,
When
wouldn't
we
you?
would actually, would have probably because of like further lawsuits. I don't know if that affected Timothy Dalton as well, not being Goldeneye. But anyway, this guy's my fucking like arch nemesis.
Hypothetical, which we can go on about all day. But
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, let's keep going then.
now for the questions I got some choice in, right? So this is yeah. What was James Bond's time in the training in the beginning?
It's time.
Yeah,
Yes.
1 minute 47, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember.
James was spot on again with that.
Oh, I'm a beast, man. Oh, mate, go on, 3-0.
But you're more invested in this film than I was. So
Henry, you got to be like, you got to
mate,
be worried,
this is
man.
never
We're
something.
going
Man.
up against each
I
other
could get
for like
no questions right, and I wouldn't care.
for the finale. Yeah, but mate, we're going to be up
It's
against each other.
it's your job for this podcast to review, and that implies paying attention to the film.
Nah, for this film, I draw an exception. Fuck this film.
Henry,
Well-
we're going up against each other for the final eight.
This
Don't
isn't
forget
even this
that.
isn't even real, mate. You're gonna get a spoof trophy,
I don't care.
Well, he's got
This is
the one
like
for
this is
Casino Royale, man. You're gonna get like probably the one for the Rock.
this is bigger than this. This is like a psychological moment now, like because we're gonna go up against each other for the final 8, and I'm like,
you think I just don't care.
yeah, I'm making a statement with this one. All right,
Next question.
We shall see. Right, now this would really acquire your attention, but it is displayed in the film nonetheless. When Largo is abducting the missiles in the beginning, you get a shot where he's in the control room of his boat, and
Mhm.
they're like monitoring the missiles coming closer and closer. And on one of the screens, it says the distance on which these missiles are approaching. What was the largest number when you first cut to the screen?
I haven't got a clue. This is a part that I skipped over.
I will
Yeah,
give
literally.
I will
yeah,
give
because of
you
how shit the green screen effect was on those missiles, man.
Yeah, man.
for the benefit. Well, it's the whole film you're supposed to watch, so like the benefit of
Like,
giving you a hint. Well, a
Go on.
little idea
is it in kilometers?
yes, it's kilometers.
I don't know, 20,000 kilometers.
20.
Man, that's like further than the entire
Yeah, I just don't know.
All right, I'm gonna go 19,000 kilometers then.
Very interesting answers. Both your final answers, 20,000, 19,000, James and Henry, respectively.
yeah.
What's the real answer?
The
Like
real
4
answer
kilometers or something.
is 25 kilometers.
Okay.
And
I think it's
Henry-
25,000 for a second.
Henry, by virtue of being 18,075 kilometers,
This is gonna be so funny
975
if you win this 4-3 now.
kilometers
Go on.
closer. All right, now this is a bit of a curveball.
Like
How
yellow.
many days after Octopussy was this film released in the UK?
Oh,
After Octopussy.
150.
I would actually just go to maybe like 130. Really, I don't think there was that much of a difference between the two.
Yeah,
James says
yeah, I'm
150.
gonna stick with 150. I think you're probably right.
Henry says what, 130 or what was it?
We'll go 140 actually. James might be closer, I think.
James is indeed closer.
Yes.
So the films were actually released 193 days apart, with
right.
Octopussy coming out on June the 6th of June, should I say, in the UK, and this came out sometime in December. So
Yeah.
quite a long
Weird
part.
for Octopus. I would have thought this might have released in the summer, and then because Bond films normally release in sort of like the autumn, winter period.
Don't know. Well, it was, yeah, I don't know, but that's what it is. And
It is what it is.
James has therefore won Never Say Never Again for what it's worth.
Oh.
And
Real hurt
I'm the
here.
best with these shitty Bond films, man. Like, I love it.
So yeah,
Last two, then.
trash like you only live twice in Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah.
What? All right. Oh, this you're gonna hate this one.
Oh.
At the underwater cave part at the end, when they're detecting where they've put this bomb, like the good guys going after them and stuff. What was the degrees at which they mentioned, by the way? What was the degrees at which the underwater cave was located?
Wait, Hen, you mean you
mean the coordinates?
Not coordinates. Like they say at one point, they say underwater cave located at something degrees, something.
135. I have a clue, man. 135.
No, 270.
Henry is slightly closer.
Hey.
The underwater cave was located at 15 degrees, so goes to Henry ever so slightly.
Wait, 15 degrees? That means I win it. I guess lower.
No, on a 360-degree rotation, James.
All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh man, maths.
Yeah.
All right. Last one.
The last one is how much money did James Bond turn down to have a dance with Domino after winning Domination?
Oh, 200 million or something, wasn't it? Yeah. No, it can't be that much.
Jog your memory very well before giving your answers.
I literally
20 million is 20 million. Yeah, 20 million.
What are you saying, Henry?
£5.
Okay. Well, Henry is actually close. James said what
How
20
much was
million
it?
or something, and James Bond turned down a total of $267,000 to have a dance with
Wow.
Domino.
Well, I got the 2. What fuck.
So the film ends with 4-3 win to James.
There
I
you
should just
go.
give more joke answers. That's apparently what does it.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was good license. That was fun.
But how
Right.
was it 4-3 or 5-2?
4-3 to James.
Yeah.
James got like
Okay.
a clean sheet of like 3 at the beginning with.
Yeah.
I wonder if
Just got
yeah,
these like really dumb questions.
and then he got the Octopussy one right as well. So there
Well,
you have it. License to quiz for no
Good job.
time. No time
Great.
to die. Never say
Well,
never
alright.
again.
On
And,
to the most
yeah.
enviable job ever. We're going to be.
Well, you don't have to read them all out, but like for rankings,
Well,
let's just name the categories and we'll But I do want to like the first one I know is Bond actor.
Yeah, for Bond actor. So still at number 1 we've got Sean Connery. Number 2 we've got Roger Moore. Number 3 George Lazenby.
Are you standing by that after watching
Yes.
this?
Yes.
This isn't official, so I'm not really thinking about it.
Still he's still funny, man, and this is still
Roger Moore. It shouldn't be held against Roger Moore that he didn't accept this film. Roger Moore could have took this film and secured the bag, and he was a better man.
Man,
for
he
doing
had
so.
7
And you're
Bond
holding
films
that.
to
You're
do.
ranking him
Yeah.
against him.
Roger Moore got actually paid well for his Bond films. That's the difference.
I know.
Sean got like fucking 16 grand for his
Oh,
first
yeah, that's
one.
true.
Yeah.
Scottish.
George Lazenby, man, he was broke. He only got like 80 grand and nothing else.
I think it
Anyway.
was 50 grand actually.
All right.
86.
Can we rank the Blofelds? Can we put this guy above Charles Gray?
Well, villains. I won't exhaust you with the long list, but we've got
Gives the bottom 3.
Kristatos at 12th, and then
And Charles Gray's
Blofeld,
last, right?
Charles Gray. Yeah.
Yeah. Can we put this Blofeld above Charles Gray? Is anyone against that?
No,
No.
I'm okay with that.
Blofeld, NSNA.
I think just for fun, just to rattle Henry, can we do the theme song? I know we're only supposed to rank the most signal.
We're not
and
ranking the Bond girl in this, are we? We're not ranking Kim Basinger, who gets like auctioned.
Yeah,
bet.
she nearly gets auctioned into sex slavery, man. Who knows what was? She's gonna get trafficked across, like Oh, mate, that was scary to watch, man. That was that probably like actually happens as well. That's the worst bit, man. Like,
We're not doing
mafia
any
shit,
henchmen, by
man.
the way. May I ask? And
Sorry?
we're not doing Fatima Blush for henchmen.
Or the nameless one who fights Bond at the beginning.
Yeah.
No.
That guy.
Well, let's do the theme songs. Can you?
No,
read
wait. What about for the car and vehicle? What about the jetpacks?
No.
How about Fatima's? Like I don't know.
The motorcycle.
Nice
The
drive.
motorcycle.
These are all a joke, man. I do want to do seriously. I want to rank the theme song.
Yeah, but what about Bond Ally? Should we rank this Felix Leiter?
Oh yeah, Felix Leiter, go on.
Along with what was the code name of Rowan Atkinson's character? Should we rank them together?
What, as an ally? Yeah. All right, go on then.
All right, so at number 1 we've got Draco and
They're
Campbell.
quite good allies, actually. Now I think about it.
2 Tiger Tanaka, 3 VJ, 4 Coral and Leiter. I assume that's from Doctor No. Colombo at number 5, and then number 6 Coral Junior and Leiter and Strasser. 7 Karen Bay, 8 Gogol, 9 Leiter and Goldfinger, 10 Leiter and Thunderball, 11 Hip, and 12 Leiter and Diamonds Are Forever. So, where do you think they go?
I think they're actually like quite decent pair. Actually, like I think they go somewhere in the middle. There's there's a dotted line of like really shit ones, and they definitely go above
or below Karen Bay, maybe.
I don't think for all the amount we dug into Karen Bay, I don't think.
Yeah. I think we have to be a bit respectful. Let's put who's below Karen Bay?
General Gogol.
Yeah, we can put him there.
Above General.
All right, so
who shouldn't even really be an ally, but okay.
Well,
in theory,
it was quite refreshing to see a film without him as well. Actually, I must admit.
What is the name of like Rowan Atkinson's character? I forget.
Doesn't matter. He's Rowan Atkinson.
I was going to put Rowan Atkinson.
He plays himself, man.
All right. Are we going to rank Q in this at all, or should leave that? All right. Okay. No. What about the gadget though? The pen he fires.
No, I don't want to be reminded of that scene, man.
Well, I mean, you're psychologically torturing me with a theme song, so
Yeah.
It's not that
all right.
bad.
Well, number
Theme
one,
song's great, man. It's decent. All right, not
Right,
great,
number
but it's.
one, on the Majesty's Secret Service, you have to be reminded of good music.
Mhm.
Number two, the James Bond theme. Number three, Live and Let Die. Number four, Goldfinger. Number five, You Only Live Twice. Number six, Man with the Golden Gun. Number seven, For Your Eyes Only. Number eight, Thunderball. Number nine, Nobody Does It Better. Number 10, Moonraker. Number 11, Diamonds Are Forever. Number 12, From Russia with Love. Okay. And number 13, All Time High.
I think this is actually quite classy, you know, like
Yeah,
it's very
I want
catchy.
Tom. I want you to
Has a
support me here when I say
ha-
above for your eyes only.
has like a really 80s good
Yeah.
vibe to it. Really like encapsulates like the film as a whole and like
Yeah.
so I think it goes above on Her Majesty's Secret Service. And I'm joking.
was gonna say-
I've got my mouse over the end call button, you know, like.
I
I
think.
really,
I
I
think.
really wanted to get a reaction out of Henry.
I can't wait to watch
This
it back.
entire hour has just been like breaking me down, so I can't deal with this.
I think. Jokes aside, I think it goes above for your eyes only. What was
I
above
don't
for your
think
eyes only, Henry?
The Man with the Golden Gun,
Yeah.
which is in comparison,
Maybe even
actually
above Man
good.
with the Golden Gun, actually.
I
You put it above it.
think-
Maybe. What do you think, Tom?
No.
I'm a bit undecided. Initially, I was like, "Yeah, this is definitely above." Nobody says does it better. And then that's it. But like, to be honest, this is quite catchy and has like a bit of
Mm.
energy to it. And like, I'd probably soon
I put
listen
this
to
below
this.
Thunderball, man. Thunderball, I
So
would actually listen to over this. I would say.
Nah, no way, man.
Is this on your
Mm.
Spotify playlist at all?
No, but North Thunderball.
Exactly. They're both shit. They're not like.
I think Thunderball should be a bit higher actually. But like,
I'll get to that
I
at some
th-
point, but
yeah, I think as it stands, we can put it like uh just below Fear Eyes Only because I quite like Fear Eyes Only. It's all right. I think this is
I
good
could
as
not
well.
care less
Considering the
about
fact Henry would
that.
probably put this bottom, I think I'll accept that.
Do we rank the opening of this? You know.
Nah.
I like how the film.
Although the opening's not that
subphrase-
bad, but it's just different. It's not the same
It's
because
'cause
there's no
they're playing the
there's no
fucking-
credits, so it doesn't really.
Yeah,
It's like
'cause they're-
Doctor
Yeah.
No, didn't it? Oh, no, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
but you can tell what the opening of it is, but it's just like anyway.
Yeah,
alright,
no.
Don't want to remember. Do we have a Sigma moment in this, by the way, you'd like to nominate?
I don't know. Do we?
Mm,
I
Uh,
think we should kind of. It is this is the only thing we do uniquely, so we
our
should try and like
tradition.
make an effort. Yeah.
Just
I don't know.
remember,
What did,
agents aren't allowed to give out endorsements. Maybe.
Yeah, that's all right.
So it's not really like. Or to be fair, it's taking the piss out of
yeah,
being like-
the thing is Sean Connery's alpha, so it's quite hard to.
He does. If I'm being honest, he doesn't really do anything like very Sigma in this.
Well, he's not a Sigma male, full stop.
Exactly.
Is he? So,
Yeah, he doesn't actually have any.
Who is Sigma in this film? That's what I'm trying to work out.
There's no Vargas, you know. So
Yeah.
Um,
should we just skip it?
No,
um,
we have to do something here. It's our duty.
I
You know,
think,
what will our
I think-
followers and subscribers think if we skip this?
I
man?
think
Yeah, if they made it
I think
to-
Q's quite a Sigma. Like he's like
Yeah,
complaining
he's
about,
yeah,
like,
I'd go to America
ec-
any day, man. Like,
the
thank you.
economy and stuff like that, and like deliveries for all his parts, which is
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, he does say, you know, he wishes they could have some gratuitous sex and violence in the film. So he implies that he wants to. Actually, then again, he doesn't specify with what gender, so it could be not.
That's right. That's right. He almost says, it sounds like he's saying it to Bond himself because he doesn't say like in the middle. He says it to him like, "I hope we have some gratuitous sex and violence." Like,
Now that would
right?
that
What?
would
And
be
Bond's like,
Sigma.
"What?
Open
Right
and
here, right
above.
now on this table. Let's do it." Yeah, I think just for the sake of nominating someone, I think Q's fine. Like he wants to secure the bag and go and work
All
for the
right.
CIA,
Well,
so
just to remind you of the list,
we could put
we have
Boston.
yeah at the top we have number one, golfing guy in the club. Number two, the backgammon scene in Octopussy. Number three, you missed Mr. Bond. Number four, Red Grant. Number five, Blofeld's extortion. Number two, Doctor No as a whole. Number seven, I need you, James. So does England. Number eight, Tracy's already a countess. Number nine, Scaramanga, Mr. Fat has resigned. Number 10, Eric from Fear Eyes Only. Number 11, Charles Gross, Prepare My Battle Submarine. Number 12, David Niven. Number 13, Names for Tombstones Baby. And number 14, Did It for King and Country.
Yeah.
So where does
Do you
this?
like reading that list? Was that fun reading out loud?
Yeah.
How are you handling my notes, by the way? Because I'm kind of realizing they're a bit like hard
No,
to.
it's all right. I can decode.
You can
this.
work out, yeah, from my brain
And
how.
I
it's,
mean,
okay.
I have, I message people who have like interesting ways of typing. So yeah, I've
Okay.
got like a decoder up here. So
Well, I think we could put this cube probably
at the bottom.
bottom or second
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah, yeah.
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 Your call, Henry.
So
Don't need to think
we
much about
have
that.
some gratuitous.
No, not that quote in particular. I think more the fact that he would like sell out for the CIA if he could.
Yeah,
Alright.
I'd go off to what Langley.
Just put
or
Q
something
from
or
Never
something.
Say Never Again. That's right.
QNSNA. Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
Now, lastly,
Yeah.
the film ranking. Number 1, On a Match Secret Service. Number 2, Goldfinger. Number 3, Octopussy. Number 4, Moonraker. Number 5, The Spy Who Loved Me. Number 6, You Only Live Twice. Number 7, The Man with the Golden Gun. Number 8, Live and Let Die. Number 9, Doctor No. Number 10, From Russia with Love, War Crime. Number 11, Thunderball. Number 12, For Your Eyes Only. Number 13, Diamonds Are Forever. Number 14, Casino Royale. Didn't know you guys hated Mads Mikkelsen that much, but right, where are we putting Never Say Never Again? And I've already started a 15th spot here for the one that
No,
gets put
fuck
there.
off. It's not going 15th.
Yeah, joking.
Read out the bottom. Can you just read out the bottom 5 for me?
Are you just trying to make me read out From Russia with Love again?
Oh, all right. Bottom 4
Number-
then. From whatever's
right,
below From Russia with Love.
Number 11, Thunderball. Number 12, For Your Eyes Only. And then Diamonds Are Forever. Then Casino Royale.
Yeah, I think it goes above all of those.
I think it goes. For all this, I think I still like Thunderball a bit better because it's like
I agree.
I have,
would
like-
put this
I
below
have,
For
like-
Your Eyes Only. Honestly,
I have, like-
I would watch that over this any day.
really
Ain't
you'd
that-
watch For Your Eyes
No
Only.
chance. No
Any
chance.
day.
For Your Eyes Only
Easy.
is it's dull. Like that's the only.
You can have a good time. What, like Tom said, this is a casual. This is casual film. This
I
is
don't
like.
care. I don't care if it's casual. I don't.
You just
want to
hate
watch.
Kevin McIlroy, man.
I hate. Yeah. I mean, at least to get his name right, man. It's Kevin McClory, but like.
Oh, my bad. Kevin McClory.
Oh.
His name, I don't, no one should even remember his. I'm doing a service, man, and like trying to like
just
eradicate his name from
gaslight
history,
people
man.
into saying his name wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say below For Your Eyes Only. You say above Thunderball. Tom says below Thunderball. So should we go below Thunderball then?
I'm not. Would you two seriously? I know Henry would, but Tom, would you watch, like, on a wet Sunday afternoon? Yeah, Thunderball or this?
Thing is with Thunderball is like I have
This logo.
I have
looks
like I have like nostalgia for it that is like outside of the film that kind of feeds into it a bit for me. So like
Okay.
that kind
Still,
of push,
but
kind
it's
of-
just
sorry. Let me
mix of
rephrase my
like-
question. If you were
inflates
sent
it
to
a
a desert
you're in a
island, with
desert
one
island,
DVD,
man.
yeah, with one
I
DVD.
would still take Thunderball over this.
I'd never. I would definitely take this.
if I went to a desert island, I'd experience Thunderball and go diving around the place if I was on a desert
Yeah,
island.
if I had a choice, if you gave me a desert island and like gave me a choice between these two films, I'd just find like the nearest coconut tree and hang myself.
You'd cut your throat with the DVD itself. Man.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, fine then. Below Thunderball. I mean,
slash
whatever.
yourself on the wrist with a DVD.
exactly.
12.
Okay. Well, that was
Never Say
fun.
Never Again.
So
That was fun.
It was.
Yeah,
it was
I thought it was
fun,
quite
right?
fun. So
I don't
just
know,
read out
man.
the bottom 3 again one more time. So this is like third bottom now, right?
Yeah. Fourth bottom. You've got Never Say Never Again, For Your Eyes Only, Diamonds Are Forever, Casino Royale.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's it.
Nice.
Interesting.
I
That
have
was more
nothing
interesting
to
than
say.
the rankings.
Yeah, I
were-
quite enjoyed that one.
rankings
all
were
right,
more
well,
interesting than I thought it was gonna be.
I guess that's it. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week for A View to a Kill. Same bat time, same bat channel.